Hey everybody, Mr. Kevin here. Welcome back to another episode of the Curved Cabinets of Benbow. Alright, on today's episode we're going to take the raised panels out of the vacuum bag, and we're going to put the top and bottom rails with the doors in the vacuum bag. And then the second thing we're going to do is we're going to take our old jig that we had from a long time ago that we made windows with, that was the actual curve of the guest bathroom, and I'm going to make the drawer front out of that. We're going to stick that in there, glue it all, tape it all up, stick it in the bag, we'll vacuum bag that Johnson up. Then we're going to take the master bathroom curve. I got a template that I already had made and laid out and how I wanted everything, and I'm going to make a jig out of that, and I'll show you how the whole thing goes right there. We'll time lapse it and speed it up because it takes forever to build those curved jigs right. And we'll do that, and that will be for the master bathroom drawer front rails and the face frame rails. And yeah, and then that's that. And that should take all of about 20 minutes or so. Yeah, let's hope so. All right, well, that's what we're going to do today, and let's get to it. Here we go. Hey everybody, it's the next day. My raised panel is still in the bag. I'm going to take this one out and glue up the next one. And here we go. All right, so we got that loose. See if we can get this off. All right, let's take a look. All right, try not to grab it by the cardboard pieces. That's what I did the other day. It flopped all over the place. It's like taking a cake out of the oven. Put on my spectacles, because I'm a spectacle of a person. So if this thing worked correctly, it should be sitting on there flat and not spring back. So there's the jig right there. It's sitting on the jig nice and flat. We have, you can see the glue popped out a little bit. Came out of the sides a little bit. Beautiful. So once I make these pieces like this and they're curved, I put them inside where the temperature doesn't change, but maybe 5 or 6 degrees. All right, and there we go. All disconnected, all untaped. Nice and curved. Yay. So this piece here is wider than we need, and it's also longer than we need. When I go to rip this down and make it to size and to width, I'll show you how I do that on the table saw. That's going to be a little while because I have to make a pile more of parts because I got like 500 parts to the bandsaw. There's a lot of resawing when you got to make all these curved parts if you're going to make it like this. So these pieces here that I have in my hand and down here on the jig are the top and bottom rail for the door that this raised panel sits in. I resawed them up today, sanded them to thickness, so the whole thing, when you squeeze it together, is 3/4 of an inch thick. I've done that for the top and bottom rail and the drawer front. And this drawer front, as you can see, won't fit on this little jig. And this is the same thing. This is 6 pieces of cherry that came out of the same 8/4 piece of wood.
What?
So I turned a 2-inch thick board into a 3/4 inch board that I can bend. These are all the face frame parts. There is, I don't know how many face frame parts there are, but this is all of them. So tomorrow I'm going to take all of these. These are the top and bottom rails. There's 4 of them. I'm going to put them on this jig right here, and we're going to vacuum bag these up. I'm going to do them the exact same way. So we're going to glue all these up tomorrow. We're going to do something like this. Boom, and then boom. Put them out here. Like playing cards with wood. So we'll take these tomorrow and do like this. Each one on a rib. Each one will end up on this last rib, and we'll put each one on a rib. Golly, it was a ghost. Did you see it? And then we're going to make a jig for all the face frames, which are right here. These are 55 inches long. And for the drawer front, and then we're going to glue all these up. So I have this old jig. This is from another job, from the windows. And there's a picture of them up here. That was about 7 or 8 years ago I did that. But I kept the jig because it takes a lot to make jigs. So you never know when you're going to need it. So these curved cabinets of Benbow, this is the perfect jig for the one vanity in the guest bathroom. So I'm going to remove these blocks now with a dead blow. And then I'm going to have to remove all the glue that's on here also. And sand it, break all the edges so they're smooth. And then I'll show you how I go about bagging these guys up. So all these pieces are the drawer fronts. I have them all laid out. I forgot to mark this one. This is the front. Label it. And also mark what side is up. And what I'm going to do after that is I'm going to put glue on them, which is kind of boring to watch, but maybe I'll film it, just time lapse it. And then we'll set it on the jig, we'll wrap it down with shrink wrap, we'll put it in the bag and vacuum bag it. Just like the other ones we did. From here on out, this is the way we're going to do it. I do have to make another jig, I think. I'm going to check that out once I get all done with this. I think this jig's going to be too short. I have to make another one for the face frame, all the face frame rails, because yeah, they're all curved too. So this is all the face frame parts for this guest bathroom vanity. These are all the curved rails. These all have to be sanded on the drum sander to 1/8 of an inch, a little less than 1/8 of an inch. So I'm going to do that. While I glue up all of these, I'm going to be drum sanding all these, and then I'm going to mill a few other things while I'm at it. One little thing though, if you have a bunch of 1/8 inch strips that are, I think these are 6.5 inches wide, don't leave them out in the sun or anywhere where they can get warm or in the sun or whatever, because what they'll start to do, and you can see I left this one out there, it's starting to turn into a happy face. They'll cup. So yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to glue these up right now. I'm going to leave the thing running over there. I'm going to leave the camera running and put on some music and we'll time lapse this Johnson as soon as I come back from finding where I put the glue.
What?
All right, I'll see you in a minute. Bye. So I keep my my roller, since I'm rolling a bunch of stuff, in a Ziploc bag. Ooh. I think one of my cables came out of this for my camera. And I just Ziploc it in there and I just leave it there until I'm done with all the glue ups I have to do, because it's just a waste of time to keep washing it and drying it and washing it and drying it. I just leave the glue on it, wrap it up in a Ziploc bag, or you could take a plastic bag and wrap the ends just so it stays wet. Because it's better when it's soaked full of glue anyway. And Two-Tip Tuesday. And I usually fill it up with like a 1/4 inch of glue and work my way from there, but these are so wide I'm going to fill it up with a 1/2 inch of glue with the tight bond. Yeah, it works pretty good. But it does have to sit in there for literally 24 hours. That's what it says on the bottle too, 24 hours if it's not going to be under stress. And under stress, it's under a lot of stress. But he's going. You up there, you're watching? All right, here we go. So we got all our marks on the one side. The front, I'm going to set them all down here. I'm going to put something down. This isn't going to cover the whole thing, but it'll be better than nothing. All right, so I'm going to flip them all over like this. Okay, this is the very back. We're not going to glue that. Because you don't want to glue the back side. That would be a bad thing. All right, here we go. And there it is. Ooh. That's the front. I'm gonna flip this Johnson over like that. Put it down, slide it all into place. Okay, we gotta make a nice little sandwich out of it. Now, we gotta get some tape and start taping really fast. This one right here is the center line. I'm going to do a quick measurement of this. First I'm going to spin around like this, because you can't ever find anything. Oh man, I'm dizzy. I'm going to go the other way now. 42. What's half of 42? 21. Got 21 there. I'm going to mark 21 here. Yeah, right next to the tape. I got a pretty good eye for center, don't I? So I'm going to pull this to the very top. on this so I have a solid piece of plywood to wrap it on. Wrap it down. All right, here we go. I'm gonna hang this over the edge. Oh, look at that. It's like a helicopter. All right. Okay, we got that. We're gonna take this Johnson here, put it inside the bag, just slide her in like that, and zipper dipper, and just leave it like that. That way it'll last longer. All right. Now we gotta do the sneaky Pete. All right, here we go. Going in the long way. Uh-oh, come on. There we go. Now, hold on, I gotta get in there. Okay, that's looks good. All right. Now, that's what I thought the problem would be. Sugar. We have this thing here. If you have to have something open around it or a grid work around it, because if you don't, it will, well, that might work. It will just stick to the other side of the bag, and it won't suck anymore, and that would suck.
Okay, that's for you.
All right, now the fun part. PVC pipe in the cover. And hopefully, this is way better with two people. Because if you get a kink in it or anything like that, it doesn't really like to hold very well. Get the pipe going there, boom. All right, hopefully I got enough of it. You can kind of roll it up a little bit sometimes. And the blue cover is the same length as the white pipe. So, yeah, you want to kind of line up. You don't want to come out short on one side because then you have to do it all over again, and this is kind of a pain in the butt. All right, there's that. Move that jig around. Looks pretty good. Gonna crank her up now. Ready? Here we go. Okay. So hopefully this all works out. Here we go. Out of whack, but that's okay. All right, so what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna pull the plug off this thing and stick this on real quick. Voila. It's done. It's a pretty big drawer front, so there it is. And we're gonna use this exact same jig for the face frame parts because it's exactly the right size. I'm gonna add like 3/4 of an inch to each end of this jig tomorrow, just to make it a little bit longer, maybe like an inch of solid wood, because I want it to be a little longer. The reason that is because there's two styles on the end, 1.25" styles that are flat, but I want to make sure that I get long enough pieces so I can actually cut where I want to if this comes out a little weird. And I won't know until I actually glue them up and let them sit for 24 hours. So here's the pile that I'm going to sand today, and I'm going to do some other stuff and resaw some stuff also. Once we get all this sanded up, this is what we're going to glue up tomorrow. And we got to keep doing this for the next 2 weeks, probably gluing up parts like this until we have all the parts we need, and then we can start assembling. So here's the simple plan for the jig if you've never made a curved jig. I figured it out off the template and all that it's 42 inches wide. It'll be wide enough. It'll be 7.5 inches tall, and that'll be good. I'm going to put probably a dozen ribs in there or so, maybe 15, I don't know. And I put a couple cleats at the bottom so the jig doesn't collapse itself when it's being sucked down in the vacuum press. So there it is, and I'll see you in a minute when it's all milled up, and we'll put it together and we'll stuff something in there because I've got lots of stuff to do. Thanks for watching, and you have an awesome day. Ready? Magic button. Okay, I've milled up all the pieces that we need for our jigs. Here's the template. I've traced this out here onto 2 pieces of 3/4 inch MDF. I have one clamp to the table, and the other one is right here. On these 2 pieces, we have up, labeled up, We have the left and the right side also labeled. These pieces here are 6 inches longer than our template because we need the pieces to be longer than the actual template because we want to cut them and fit them into place, and it's always better to have them long than short.
Okay.
This is overhanging here because we want to start over here. We're going to come and we're going to flesh trim it till about the middle of the jig. And it's on the line right now. So I'm just going to clamp it down with a bunch of spring clamps. Okay, so we have, it'll go probably past, I don't know, somewhere in there. And then we'll move it down and do it again. As I'm flesh trimming this, once I get beyond a certain point, I'm just going to bring this spring clamp and I'm going to clamp it over here. All right, here we go. I'll try to stay out of the way. Okay, I missed a little spot there, but that's not that big a deal. I'm going to take this now and bring this and clamp it over here. And we just keep going. All right. Move a couple of these over like that. That'll keep it clamped down into place and keep it from moving around too much. So we're going to take this over here. We're going to clamp that down. Clamp these down over here. All right, and this should be pretty good. I'm going to clamp this on the very end. And I can still see my pencil mark. And it's got a little bit sticking out, like a 1/16 of an inch. And this is all flesh. And that's kind of important. You've got to go back and check. Make sure everything's the correct radius. So we basically transferred this here, put that over there because we don't need it now, onto this piece here. First we got to flesh trim this with this. And these pieces were cut the same, they're all the same length, same width and everything. And this time I think I'm going to just put a couple screws in them and call it macaroni. Now all I'm going to do is take my driver and put a couple screws in it. That way it'll keep it from moving. Good God, MDF, barf. Yeah. 1.25 inch screws because 1.5 inches will go right through the top and you don't want that to happen because it'll poke you. That ain't no good. So now we have the two pieces screwed together, correct? And we're just gonna flesh trim everything to this top part because that's the way it goes, you know what I'm saying? Okay, here we go, flesh trimming. All right. I don't know if you can see that or not. Sorry if you can't. All right, now we have the same jig, same thing, same way. I'm gonna set you back over on the other side there. I'm gonna get me a drink of water because MDF tastes like poop. And we'll go ahead and build this thing. All right, so I have a center line right here on my jig. I'm just gonna carry that over to the top here. And the reason I just like to know where the center is, we're just gonna mark a little C for center. All right, we have a bunch of these little pieces of scrap that I made. 3 3/4 by however tall they are. I don't know if I showed you this the last time. Center finder. Ooh. I'm gonna take the center, I'm just gonna mark it through here. Well, that one's already got it. And I'm just gonna carry this through like this. Okay, and this is the center. It's on there. It's on that side there. And what we're going to do is we're just going to lay these puppies out. So what do we do now? All the lettering's on the outside. You got to put the cleats on the inside. What do you do? Here's what you do. You go like this. Oh, magic. Yeah, there you go. So that's all you got to do. Centers are still the centers. The right's the right, the left's the left. There, just took one and put it over the other. It's magic. What? All right, so now what we're going to do. Building jigs is sometimes boring. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take these like this. Make sure I get them the right direction. I'm going to take a little driver, and you can do it on a drill press too if you want. It just you have to move everything over there. I'm just going to take my driver and put a screw hole Basically like that in each one of these. Once you get the first row done here, it's pretty easy. Usually what I do when I do stuff like this is the first thing I do is I'll drill all the holes. And then I'll start in the middle and work my way out like I always do. I don't know why. You can start at one end, work your way to the other. But I come in about an inch. And I'm just guessing where the center is. And I'm just going to... Because you don't want to get too close to the ends of plywood. Because if you get right on the end of a hunk of plywood, it'll just split it. So you want to go in at least 3/4 or an inch. An inch is better. And just drill away. So you see what I'm doing? I'm just lining them up on the lines, make sure they're flush on the top, putting a clamp on it. And we're gonna go from there. Okay, good golly. All right, give it a little pre-drill mark here. 1.5 inch screw. And this only happens about 40,000 times. And this jig will be done. So this is gonna go on for quite a while. All right. Woo! All right, I screwed it together. I didn't want you guys to sit and watch all that. That'd be boring. So there it is. The only thing I got to do is put the little cleats on the bottom. I'm just going to stick one in the middle. And there you go. Oh, voila.
Ooh la la.
Yeah, all ready to go. Checked it for square. Square across this way. It's a square on the ends, square on the bottom. It is square. And that's kind of important when you're making curved things. You want them as flat and as square as possible because it's already going to, you know, just dealing with curves, it's bad enough if everything's out of square and it's like a parallelogram and it's just not level, or you know what I mean. It's better to have everything square and good to go. And what we're going to do now, we've got all these pieces over here. All of these. There it is. These are all the pieces over the next couple of, probably a week or so, that we have to bend on this jig. But wait, there's more. Hold on. And all this stuff here, this little piece of this, still has to be, hold on, there's more. And all these right here, wait, there's one more. All these are the raised panels that still have to be resawed. So I have to sit and resaw all these up while I'm gluing these up. So this is what we have to do over the next couple of weeks. And this one too. So this is what a curved section of a cabinet looks like. This is actually two cabinets, that little bump out section and the two master vanity bathroom cabinets. This is what I'm going to be doing for the next week or so. I hope you're doing something more fun. But when it comes to building all this stuff, that's when the fun begins. This is kind of pedestrian and medial. You know, you got to make this and that, and you have to glue that up, and you have to resaw that. That's kind of mundane and a little bit boring. But once you get all the curved parts and all the curved parts are made, I can start building this stuff and assembling everything. And then I just have to teeter-totter. And then I just have to start assembling. And that's the part I like the most, is assembling things and making weird things work. A lot of people don't like doing weird things. I kind of like it a lot. All right, peoples. Well, thanks for watching and thanks for subscribing. If you're new to the channel, subscribe, like, hit the notification bell. Fling, flang, to bang, bang. Almost forgot that. Who could forget that? God. tell all your friends, share it with the world, and yeah, I gotta go. So you have an awesome day. Go outside and play. Hug somebody you love, because that's important. You be safe out there, and I'll see you next time right here on the YouTubes. Right here on Woodworking with Mr. Kevin. That's me. All right. And thanks for watching Curved Cabinets of Benbow. The Curved Cabinets of Benbow. And I was going to throw something at you, but I can't read. The camera's way the hell over there anymore. So I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm just going to fart. Right, here we go. 1, 2, 3. Bye. Hey everybody, and welcome back to the Curved Cabinets of Benbow. Blah, 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 blah. Seashells by the seashore. Yes. All right. I need water. There's good things about gloves and bad things. Good thing is you don't have to grip anything like crazy. Bad thing is you can't feel things. I don't have any more feelings. That's weird. Ready to go. I gotta hurry up. Boss is gonna fire my ass if I don't get this crap done. Oh wait, I am the boss. Damn it. I fired myself twice yesterday. Okay, and that ain't gonna work. Good golly, I almost lost them all. So I've already pulled all the screws out. I gotta beat them off with a dead blow now. But you need to beat them off with a dead blow. I have to remove them with a dead blow. Good golly, this is a family show. You get to see me in action once again. Oh God. That one just right through the whole damn thing, moved it all the way over and everything. Well, that ain't no damn good. Let's see if we can do this. I even have it clutched at 16. Sounds like somebody's ripping them, boy. Ripping them, boy. Okay. Oh my goodness. This thing's a pain in the butt. It'll be amazing. I hope it's amazing. God, if it's not amazing, I guess I'm fired. Good golly. Oh, it's back on again. Whoops. That was a good one. It was a stinker. You almost make you barf. Bye.